You're still watching the continent's hottest magazine show. If you're just joining us, where have you been? We've spoken about North African football and how they seem to glow different. Now we're going to talk about Congo because they wanted to end over 50 years of not beating Senegal and over 57 years of not participating in the FIFA World Cup. Now, SC, what we saw in that game was incredible. It was supposed to be an exhibition for African football. All those great players on display.
Yeah,
we saw the guy from Manchester United, the former player from Manchester United, the right back, what's his name?
You're losing me.
Wan-Bissaka, that's his name.
New into the team.
New into the team. We were going to see all those amazing Senegal players, Pape Sarr.
Yeah, the names are, the list is endless. I mean, the two teams, before we can even get into this conversation, Adelane, the euphoria, look at the stadium. I mean, it was fully packed before the game could even start, 2 hours before the game could start. And for me, that already sent out a huge warning to Senegal to say, hey guys,
behave yourselves
it's going to be war here. And when you go into the match itself, it was just fireworks. Senegal, look, they didn't see DRC coming out like that. And DRC came out and there were guns blazing, putting in the first 2 goals in. And when you look at how they pushed the game.
But they should have known, looking at how DR Congo performed in their previous game. They should have known that it was going to be tough for them.
Look, for the fact that DRC, prior to this game, conceded 12 goals before they faced Senegal in between the two fixtures of these two countries. For Senegal to say they should have known, I think, of course, it's right. It's right.
Yes.
When you look at your analysis as a coach, you know, Sebastian will look at his analysis and say, you know what, I knew that Senegal was going to bring something different. But before that, you look at the names as well. That tells you as well in terms of what kind of game you're about to have.
Okay, well, you know, we don't like to see what happened after the game. In football, because this is supposed to be an advert for African football to the world. Yeah. We don't want to see fans throwing things and destroying the stadium.
It shouldn't be even part of our conversation, to be honest with you. I mean, when fans fight out like that, you know, it's good to have the emotions, but let's contain our emotions and keep them at a subtle space and not ruin our own stadiums. Tomorrow you're going to be needing these stadiums, you know?
Yeah, well, they were not thinking about that, but you can understand why a few chairs were flying in the air, because DR Congo in that group, they sit behind Senegal, but they still have a good chance of qualifying as one of the best runners up.
It's possible for them to experience that or to go through that, but it's going to be a tough one. When you look at the runners up log list, it tells you that they need to do a lot of work. You've got your own country in there that you're not speaking of, but we're going to come back to that after this conversation.
Yeah, we are.
So for me, Senegal has done so well, man. They coming back from this game to win the game 3-2. I didn't see that happening, and kudos to what Senegal team has done. So what
Senegal is doing, and Senegal isn't the only West African team topping their groups. We have Ghana also topping their group after beating Mali. We have Cote d'Ivoire also topping their group. So the West, you know...
You mentioned the group where Ghana is. There's a team there that we're not talking about, Madagascar. And if we've seen how they fared in the Chan tournament that has just passed before the qualifiers,
yes,
you'd recognize this is a team to take note of. And I think Ghana needs to take note of this team.
Yes, and
Ghana's almost there.
That was another lovely thing I saw in this African World Cup qualifiers. It was nice to see the likes of Ryan Ogam of Kenya,
yes, definitely,
the likes of Clemens Mzize, Alan Okello, who got 1 goal and 2 assists against Mozambique. Just some stars from the Chan tournament going on to shine in the World Cup qualifiers.
Which highlights the importance of Chen. But though we're talking about qualifiers,
yes,
it's important for teams to take these things seriously.
But that was lovely. Speaking of lovely, we also had a fairy tale, the Cape Verdean fairy tale, a population of just over 500,000 people. And they're on the brink of making it to the World Cup. Now, that's the way to invade a stadium, the way the Cape Verdeans did.
Definitely. Definitely. South Africans should be happy to see that Cape Verde in this, not for footballing reasons, but what an interesting group, man. Cape Verde, Cameroon, Libya in there as well. We spoke about Libya earlier on with Aliou Cisse. I think Cameroon has its work cut out here, and Cape Verde just on the brink of qualifying, and I think they are going to do that.
Eswatini and Libya next.
For me, those are rhetorical games for them. I think they're going to win those games, to be honest with you. Cameroon is going to be in the runners-up position. They best look at that. Yeah, I think Cape Verde has done enough, man.
So they join the likes of Uzbekistan and Jordan, who are going to be debutants in next year's FIFA
for the first time.
World Cup. Well, we assume that nothing crazy is going to happen and they're going to qualify in this group. But now let's talk about the elephant in the room, because you've been wanting to talk about it. In Bloemfontein, we saw Hugo Bruce's side bloom, and then we saw, well, jollof didn't taste so sweet in so many Nigerian households across the country after that.
We can remove the food and talk about the Amapiano versus?
The Afrobeat. And, most Nigerians are hurting because this is 2 World Cups in a row that they're not going to be participating in. Now, where does Nigerian football go from here? And for South Africa, what do you think of that performance against the Super Eagles?
Before we even get into the conversation about South Africa, I've been telling you about your coach, and I did say that he's not fit enough for this team.
Wait, SC, I think that's just a little appetizer of what segment 3 is going to be about. You're going to see our full analysis of the Super Eagles versus Bafana and so much more in segment 3. Keep watching.